All right, so you guys have just completed your part one of the assessment for the Telltale Heart main idea. That is worth 75 out of 100 points, the three-question assessment that you just took. Now this reflection is worth another 25 points for a total of 100 points out of 100. And what we're going to do is we are going to talk about the correct main idea statement that you should have come up with, or something very close to this. We're also going to address a couple of possible questions that I think you may have had, and then you are going to reflect on what you think you could have done better, what you need to remember next time that we use this strategy, because remember, we will be using this text structure main idea strategy very often in class. So you really need to be thinking about what you need to remember later. And we're also going to reflect on what you have learned during this week. So let's go ahead and get started. The main idea statement for the Telltale Heart is: the cause is that the narrator is insane. The effect is the narrator kills an old man that he likes because of his vulture-like blue eye, thinks he is hearing the dead old man's heartbeat, and finally confesses his crime to the police out of guilt. So here we can see the cause. It's a pretty simple cause. I think we can all agree that the narrator is quite insane. You may have put here crazy or some other word like mad. Any of those words would have been fine. But the cause should have been something along the lines of: the cause is that the narrator is insane or crazy. Then the effect. So I have a pretty detailed effect here. You may not have had this detailed of an effect, but I really felt like it was necessary for this because there were so many effects. I even, as a teacher, kind of struggled with identifying if the Telltale Heart was cause-effect structure or if it was problem-solution. Because as we're about to talk about, there is a problem and a solution in this text. I just don't feel like it encompasses the entire text enough for it to be considered the main text structure. So let's get back to the effect here. I said the effect, I gave three effects: that the narrator kills the old man that he likes because of his vulture-like blue eye. Again, this is an effect of him being crazy or insane. Number two, he thinks he's hearing the dead old man's heartbeat. This is another effect of the narrator being insane or crazy. And finally, he confesses his crime to the police out of guilt. And if you read really closely, he actually thinks that the police already know that he's committed the crime, that they just haven't told him yet that they know. So he thinks that the police are hiding something when in fact it's him that's hiding something, and so he actually confesses. So again, this is an effect of him being crazy or mad or insane. Okay, so now your effect here may have been something more simplistic, which would be fine if you said something like: the effect is that the narrator kills the old man, or the effect is that he confesses his crime to the police, or the effect is that he is hearing the dead old man's heartbeat. Any of those would have been fine. They're all effects. I just want to challenge you to try to identify as much as you possibly can when writing out a main idea statement. Okay? So let's get to why this is not a problem solution text. Again, I really struggled with this. I even had to discuss with one of my teacher colleagues so that we could kind of talk it out and figure out what we thought, which text structure best fit this text. Okay, so here is a sample main idea statement for the problem solution. The problem is the narrator hates the old man's eye. The solution is the narrator kills the old man. Now, this is totally correct. Yes, the narrator does hate the old man's vulture-like blue eye. And yes, the solution that he comes up with is that he decides to kill the old man, which, by the way, is crazy, right? Because who kills somebody just because they don't like their eye? So the problem I have with this, the reason why I think that this is not a good main idea statement for the entire text of the Telltale Heart is that this main idea statement makes it seem like the story ends after he kills the old man, which if you read the whole story like you should have, then you know that there's a lot after this point. Okay, after he kills the old man, he starts to hear a sound that's hurting his ears. He starts to think that it is the heart of the dead old man that he just killed. He even starts to think that the police understand that he is the one that killed him. And even before all that, he in fact literally dismembered the old man's body and put him under the floorboards. So he does a lot after killing the old man. So I don't think that this is a good main idea statement because there's still so much left out of it. So why then can we not say that the problem is that the narrator is crazy? Because this is obviously a problem because there are a lot of negative effects to this problem. He kills an old man. He's hearing things. He confesses to the police, right? But the thing is that if the problem is that the narrator is crazy, there is no real solution to this. Now, you may be able to argue that the solution is that he confesses his crime, but I don't think this really solves the problem of him being crazy. It maybe just solves the problem of him feeling guilty or solves the problem of him hearing the old man's heartbeat. So this is the example and some explanation. If you have any questions, if you feel like you're still just very totally lost and you're not quite sure what's going on, then I would really encourage you to please visit me or whoever your teacher is. Maybe you have Mr. McCluskey or Ms. Musakia. Visit us during our office hours to discuss this. It is very important that you understand this strategy because, like I said, we're going to be using it throughout the year. So now you are going to complete the reflection questions in the discussion board, and then you're done for the week. Have a good weekend.